Chicago, rock and roll, Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock the city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best year out around.
Hey, this is Paul Martin
And Ray the Roadie.
for the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. What's going on, Ray?
You know, I was just sitting here and playing with my Apple Watch. It's not a new one. I want to get a new one. But I was sitting here, and you know, this watch can do an EKG.
Really?
It can actually do an EKG. So,
What's to pick up frequencies or something?
No, well, once you get the frequency, the EKG down, you look at it, and it shows you a wavelength.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's really cool, and you can see how your heart's doing and stuff. And me with a medical
How long is the
background,
wave? They
how long-
wave for
it depends. It depends on it depends. You want to have about 60 to 100 waves, no more.
Okay.
Any more than that, then you got too much of a wavelength.
You know, I had a
Heart to heart.
an exam one time.
Okay.
The lady told me, she said I had an elevated T.
Oh yeah.
I said, I love elevated T. She said, it seems like I hit the ball farther.
Yeah. An elevated tee. I went golfing today.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I went out and I elevated my tee. I did pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually, shot the best I've shot all year so far.
Really?
Yeah, it's real nice.
Are you bragging?
Am I bragging? No, not really. Yeah, I'm a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
It's okay.
A little bit. Yeah, it was went with a good friend of ours from the Five Guys named Jose Rivera.
Oh, okay.
He's a really good golfer.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I have to be invited sometime.
It would be. It would be. You're always welcome to come. Always welcome to come. You know.
So what about this wave thing?
Well, that was kind of like my introduction
Oh, okay.
because the band we're speaking with today is Wavelength.
Wavelength.
Not EKG. Wavelength. They play to a different frequency.
Yes, they do. So we're going to speak with Will and Tim and Tom and
Mark.
Right.
Yep.
And we're missing Mike.
We're missing Mike. He couldn't make it because he's got to work. You know.
Yeah, well.
You know.
Some of us,
The rest of us are all freeloaders. We can hang out together at the
somebody's
studio.
working.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see what they have to say. They've been playing around for a few years. They got a couple of newer members with them.
Yes.
Newer members. And they're from the South Side.
Always good thing. Not to offend any of our North or West Side people, but
No.
you know, we're from the South Side. So
Yeah, they're Southsiders. So let's get to it and talk to Wavelength.
alrighty.
So welcome to the show, everyone. Today we're speaking with Wavelength.
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 Wavelength. Thank you for coming. Goodbye.
That sounds just like all the crowds we play for.
But we're speaking with William and Tim and Tom and Mark, and who, we're missing one guy. Who are we missing?
Mike.
Michael, our percussionist.
Michael P.
Michael P.
That's a drummer for all you people out there that don't know what a percussionist is.
So tell us a little bit about the band. How did the band get started? How long have you been together? When did you get started?
Okay.
Tell us a little bit of the history.
All right. Way back in the early mid 2000s, Tim and I ended up working at the same company.
Okay, now you are William.
I'm William.
Just so people recognize the voice.
William and Tim, we ended up working for this company out in Mokina. And of course, you know, for some reason we just kind of gravitated to each other, started talking, found out that I play keyboards and he plays guitar. Well, a little bit later, an old friend of mine brought me out of retirement to play keyboards for their band, a band called Club 44. They were around for a number of years. And every time I did a gig, I'd come back and Tim would go, "I hate you. I'm jealous. I hate you."
I haven't played in many years, and I wanted to play.
Yeah, sure. Once you get it in your blood, it's, of course, it's
Yeah. Well, anyways, you know, Club 44 went their way, and I walked into work one day and went, "All right, Tim, time for us." So this had to be 2009, 8?
Yeah, it was
right around there.
Yeah, it was a little.
And so the two of us, we got a bunch of audition songs together that we could play, and we started trying to find people, and we went through a number of different iterations. But fortunately, Tim was really good friends with Mark.
Okay.
Who, you know, because one of the people
Say hello, Mark.
Hello.
and I've known Mark since he was in high school, from neighborhood kids. And Mark's always been, a very well received front vocalist. I mean, and trying to find, we can't sing for anything.
Mark will vouch for that.
So, anyways,
Not to save your life or nothing, huh? Right?
yeah. So, anyways, Mark being a friend, a school friend of Tim's, and he finally figured out who I was from those days. Decided, no way, I don't want to play with you guys. You guys suck. And he's been with us ever since.
Yeah.
And we've gone through a number of rhythm sections. And 2 years ago, Tom joined us.
Okay.
And then just a little bit after that, Tom's brother-in-law, Michael P., joined us on drums.
I see.
And that's our president.
So Tom, you have the whole backing, the rhythm section. You came prepared with the rhythm section, right?
Oh yeah. My brother-in-law, he was waiting in the car when I auditioned. Yeah. So yeah, that was great. Play with someone I've been playing with Mike since we were both in high school. So way back then.
Yeah.
So we knew each other really well. I'm married to his sister, so I know him that way too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So now, you were married to his sister though back in high school, were you? So I see. I getting this whole feel for
Pretty close
for what happened.
Yeah, they're long timers.
Yeah. She was still in high school. No, she had just graduated from high school, and I was out a couple of years. So but it goes way back. We've been married 41 years.
God bless you. Good for you.
Congratulations.
Cool.
Yeah, so actually, what really happened is here's the truth.
Tell us the story, Mark.
Playing with Will and Tim, we lost the drummer and bass player, so I just happened to make a suggestion for Tom joining the band as playing bass, and his brother-in-law, Mike, and I go way back to the early 80s. We played together in a band called The Heat. So, Mike and I have years and years of history together. And so it was an easy fit. Easy.
And don't forget the fact that we were playing a reunion gig, high school reunion gig. Yeah. And our drummer at the time was having some health problems, and his legs and stuff were starting to give out right in the middle of the show, and he couldn't play anymore. So Mike was just happened to be out in the audience, and we said, Mike, come on up and sit in with us. And that was his audition in front of about 300 people. Yeah.
Yeah. He walked up code, and we don't really play stuff that you just could jam on, and he nailed it for the rest of the show.
Right.
And it worked out very well. But never thinking that, somewhere in the future, this guy was going to actually be with us.
What, had he seen you before and knew? No?
No, it was the first time he actually saw that lineup of that band before. But like I said, I mean, him and I go back, 40 years. So it's he knew if I was in the band that he wasn't going to be joining a bunch of nitwits. Yeah.
So he was wrong.
Yeah.
So Tom, you are the newest member, right? You and Mike.
No, Michael P. is.
It's kind of strange how it happened. I brought Mike to that show. He came with his sister, my wife, and I to see them, and that was the bass player's last show, the one that was in the band, and so.
Apparently, it was the drummer's last show too.
Pretty much.
Yes, you're right about that. So it was a couple months later, Mark called me up and asked me if I wanted to be in the band. And about 6 months after that, Mike joined. So, but because of COVID and everything, we hadn't played a show until just this August.
So you're only a couple of years in, right?
Right.
And so when did the band actually get started?
The core of the band, Tim and I, back in the late 2000s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we've been hammering ever since.
Yeah.
Yep.
We used to be called Frequency, and a little history on that was both me and Will here are electrical engineers. So we kind of called ourselves Frequency, but then with all these changes, we decided to change our name to Wavelength, which actually is the same as Frequency.
Right.
Can you say nerds?
So Mark, so how long have you been with the band?
They bothered me. It's been about 7 years now.
Longer than that.
It's 8 years
At least.
Yeah. Can't be no more than that.
Yeah.
About 8 years.
So
Yeah, I happen to be in a conversation with a friend of mine on Facebook,
And me.
and Knucklehead Tim over here decided to sneak in on it and say, "Hey, do you still sing?" And I was like, tentatively, "Yeah, why?" And so the guy that we were having the Facebook conversation with, he's like, "Why don't you guys talk on the side and finish this off there?" So Tim messaged me off to the side there and said, if you wouldn't mind, would you like to come check us out? And so I went, and I was really bored, so I said, "Sure, I'll stick around."
all right. So Tim tells me that Mark is coming, and tell an old friend of mine. I'm like, that Mark? You're kidding me. I can't stand him. So Mark comes over.
Wait a minute. Wait, this is supposed to be about the band, not about breaking up the band now.
No.
Okay.
Well, then Mark comes down. He sees like an old 70s picture of me, back, somewhere. And he goes, "Oh, you're the guy from that band? Oh, I couldn't stand you guys either."
So it was a mutual agreement.
Yeah. Right,
Okay. Well, I
exactly.
get
Yeah.
that.
Well, back in the mid 70s, it was band against band.
Yeah.
It was, and I agree with you 100% because it was. Well, my band's better than your band, or my band can do that song better than your band. But nowadays, you get so many guys who are out there jobbing and playing, playing in 2 bands or 3 bands, and there's really no competition,
Right?
Because that they're out there just making a buck,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, and when you consider back in the mid 70s and later,
Battle of the Bands, right?
Well, yeah, you're doing Battle of the Bands, and at the time you're writing your own material.
Right.
You're not just a cover band. You're trying to get your own stuff out there,
Sure.
and get noticed. And so, you got some animosity towards the other bands. I mean, it's not like you want to get into fisticuffs, but if you had to, you would.
Fair play competition.
Yeah.
So, Mark, what's your connection to Johnny Winter, Grand Funk, and Foghat?
I happened to be in some groups at the time that opened up for those acts. Yes,
Okay.
so I was pretty fortunate to work with them, meet them, talk with them, get to know their history a little better. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So now you guys are from South Suburbs, right?
Yes.
Basically. And but we haven't talked about what kind of music you play. Oh, so let's talk about the music a little bit.
Well, who wants to describe this one?
It's real simple. The music's simple too.
No.
Because we're a bunch of simpletons. It's just classic rock. Our musical tastes are all over the place, but we do try to pick songs that people know, and but we also try to pick songs that we enjoy playing.
Right.
So it's hard to balance that act,
Right.
because
Well, what's the process that you guys go through? I mean, in picking a song, I mean, does somebody come with the song and say, "Hey, I'd like to learn this one"?
Well-
somebody else says, "No, I don't want to do this."
yeah,
Or-
pretty much
Or
that.
does it depend on who can sing it? Or what?
Unfortunately, I get the final say
Because he has to sing.
because I got to sing it.
Right.
Okay.
But
And,
we-
Regardless whether we agree with them or not.
Yeah.
I mean, we could love a song, but if you can't vocalize it,
Right.
it isn't worth putting out there.
Right.
We do have a couple of rules, though, is we won't pick any more than 2 songs that any artist does because we don't want to become
Like a tribute.
a tribute band. We don't want to do that.
okay.
We also don't pick
Tribute
any-
bands are big nowadays. Huh?
Yeah. We also don't pick any.
Okay, I hit a sore subject there.
which is why we're not working.
We also we try to pick songs that other bands don't do. Okay, and usually if we find something that we like and we find out 3 other bands are doing it,
Right.
then our number one rule is we don't play Beatles.
Really?
That's his.
It's a nice.
No, it's not.
It's Tim's role.
All right. Yeah. When we started putting set lists and songs together and what we're going to present, as our product, one of the things, and as Mark could even, came up with this, is we don't want to be so esoteric that nobody knows what the hell we're doing. But the other half is we want to be one of these, oh, wow, I haven't heard that song in blah, blah, blah. And I really liked it.
Right.
And like we played last Sunday, and we got a lot of that. Like people were just like, wow, I haven't heard that song in ages. And, da-da-da-da-da, and they're singing along with it.
Right. I haven't heard a band play that song before.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Exactly.
Because everybody does the Bon Jovi and that type of stuff, and which is fine. That's everybody likes that stuff, but we try to avoid it.
but in some of the,
chicks dig it.
yeah, I know.
How far back you go?
What's that?
How far back you go with your set list?
Oh, we'll go all the way down all the way down in the 60s.
Yeah, we
A couple Badfinger songs.
Yeah, do a couple Badfingers, Sugarloaf. We hit pretty much, like the early mid 70s stuff. Of course, Deep Purple. And,
Right.
and we do some current stuff too. We do
Yeah.
like a bit like
or somewhere close.
just something like Dada. A lot of people haven't heard it. They did.
Well, they heard when they hear it, they remember it.
Yeah.
And Black Keys and things like that.
White Reaper.
Yes. Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of them.
Yeah.
Is that the one you don't fear?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish.
There's no cowbell on that one either.
Yeah.
But I see you all play cowbell.
Yes.
That's who would ever think you get 5 guys together that can all play cowbell?
Right.
Well, they had to
It's
teach
for an
me.
encore.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you still using the music stand and watching?
Yeah. I could even dance around and get the belly moving now.
A couple of years ago, I don't know who, somebody gave him a present, and it's this little
Little teeny.
about
So I got this little itty bitty cowbell with the little itty bitty jump drumstick that I can play cowbell with.
Is it acoustic or electric?
It's annoying.
So, what are some of the past bands you guys have been in?
Well, myself, I played with a band for many years called Afterglow.
That would be Tim, the guitarist.
That would be me, the guitarist. Yes, I played with a band called Afterglow. We did the circuit around Chicago. I think we played with the Kingsmen once. Louie. That
Right.
Is that a Genesis cover band?
Well, yeah, we did do a lot. It was a cover band too, and we did do a lot of Genesis stuff. But it was fun. It was fun. We eventually kind of went our own separate ways, and everybody's doing their own thing now. So, and I kind of went off. I didn't do any music for a while. That's when we got together. I was doing some other small band stuff, but then we started this one.
Right.
When you were with Afterglow, did your opening band, was that Climax or?
That sounds familiar. Yeah. Well, we had a female singer. That was
You're such a jokester.
My mind's always working, Paul.
yeah.
That's too bad.
Feel the love with us too.
This is William again. I'm a keyboardist, and that's about all I know how to do. And sometimes,
you play cowbell.
That's questionable.
You play mini cowbell. Right?
Yeah, the mini cowbell. Yeah. Way back when, we're in a number of four piece, guitar, bass, drums, and me. Kind of heavy, loud, copy bands. But then we're doing a lot of, Purple and Uriah Heep and stuff like that throughout the 70s. We called ourselves SRO.
Oh, okay.
And then when that finally went,
Standing room only.
well,
Is that really?
not really. When people would come up and go, well, that's kind of neat, we go, no, suck rotten oysters. But when that went its way, then myself and the guitar player, we Actually hooked up then with an old friend a little bit before we turned the mics on. An old friend from high school and pre-college, Bob Moreta, who also brought in his friend, Jose Rivera, for a number of years. In the late 70s, early 80s, it was called Willie Cash and the Prophets. And finally, in about like 82, I had to quit that. And work was getting too intense, family too intense. I had little kids, and that was it. And I didn't do anything from about 82 until about the mid 90s, where some of the old band members from there, we started writing a musical about having kids and all that. And it was actually going to be funded and put on at Roosevelt University. The funding was coming from the two building developers that guy Kunin or whatever, he killed one of them and stole his car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and went down and then killed Versace.
There's an idea for me.
All right.
Yeah, really. Well, anyways, the guy that was going to fund us ended up getting, that was it, and that was the end of that.
That must have been fun, though. I mean,
it was kind of interesting. I mean, the Roosevelt University, like their drama department at the time, they were going to actually take our thing and actually turn it into a whole production, whatever, and everything.
Was it a rock musical?
Yeah,
or,
yeah. And it went through all sorts of rock and roll stuff to, a little bit of loud, crunchy stuff to, my God, I think I even, wrote a bebop stuff in there and, and some really sweet, nice, sweet songs and all that and lullabies and whatever. And it turned out it was kind of cool. But after that, it was,
it just never happened.
No, just never happened.
Do you still have all the music and everything that,
I don't even know how to play it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, we never scored it, but I've got all the lyrics.
He didn't know how to play it then.
Oh yeah, really. So. And then, like I said, so basically I was in retirement for a number of while until, this Club 44 pulled me out. And then I played with them for a little bit until they kind of imploded. And that was the end of that. Then ended up with Tim.
And what about you?
Tom?
Tom?
Oh, okay.
Tom, you still here?
Yeah. So I haven't really played in a band since I was in my 20s. I played in a couple bands with the guy who's the drummer now, Mike. We played, mostly all we did was battles of the bands at the Bremertown Mall. Mm-hmm. So we did 3 years of that. And then I was in a band with, he goes by the name Larry Dean now. He has this band called Trident. It's a Christian metal band. At the time, we weren't a Christian metal band, but I was in a band with him and he was doing some recording. And then I found I was having a son. So I said, I don't want to get that involved in a band. And he was paying for all the recording and everything. So I felt bad. So I said, before we get too deep in this, I'm just going to quit. And I hadn't played in a band then until this one. So then I took like 40 years off. I was also working. I worked nights, and so it was really hard to do gigs on weekends when you have to work, overnight shift. And so,
did you have to go out and buy new gear? Or
I did.
Did you have an old bass?
I had a bass I bought in '77, a BC Ridge. Sweet. It's Mockingbird, and but I had just like a little 8-inch amp cabinet, I brought that to practice. And these guys looked at me like, "Where's the rest of it?" So I had to get another amp, and I've gotten, now, you always have the excuse, "I'm in a band. I have to buy this bass."
That's right. That's right.
So 3 years doing Battle of the Bands at Bremertown Mall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever win?
No, we were too cool. See, we would play
3
songs
years.
like,
Come on, man.
We played Halo of Flies by Alice Cooper. We played War Pigs by Black Sabbath. We'd be like into our third 10-minute song, and the guy'd be touching his watch and like, "That's it. You only have 20 minutes." Yeah.
But you kept going back.
Yeah. We just did it for ourselves, and
the Bremertown Mall was on Halsted, wasn't it?
No,
No,
159th in Harlem.
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
Between Harlem and Oak Park.
yeah.
Where Menards is now.
Right.
Any voices here? Did anybody else play a Battle of the Bands at Bremertown?
No, we were playing clubs by then.
Oh, okay.
I would just go there and watch you.
Yeah, you never said anything to you, but yeah,
That's actually where I learned how to play guitar. There was a little music.
that's
Music
same
place.
there. That's
A
where I
guy
bought
named
my
Tom,
bass.
big
Yeah.
beard.
There was, I remember that.
Yeah.
On the bars.
I learned. That's where I learned how to play.
He gave me my first real bass lesson.
Yeah, nice guy, real good guy.
I had this guy
him and his
Ernie,
brother.
and Well, the first thing he did, he taught me, he goes, "You got a pick?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, takes it from me, throws it in the garbage.
Nice.
Then he shows me a bass line. He goes, doom, 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 doom. And he brings out an acoustic guitar. And this guy never played a bass with me for all my bass lessons. So I didn't learn anything. And about 6 months in, Tom DeVar is the guy that owned Bremen Music there, Bremertown Music. He taught me how to tune. You know, this is 6 months in, I didn't know how to tune. Taught me how to tune, and he gave me my first real lesson. So that guy was pretty cool. He taught you too, huh? Excellent.
Well, the actual teacher that taught me, his name was Casey Jones. Really good guitar player. Not the same Casey Jones. Not the same.
Not the engineer.
Not the engineer.
The engineer.
No, he was a really
Watch your
good,
speed.
He was a really good guitar player. He played a nice Les Paul and taught me everything I knew. He was really into theory and stuff like that. And then eventually, after I left there and stopped it, I started teaching music at Midlothian Music. Teaching guitar and stuff like that. I did that. That got me through college. And but yeah, I learned a lot from them. They were all good people over at Bremerton Mall.
His name was Tom.
Tom DeVar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to.
I have a Tom story.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of a little on the funny side.
Okay.
All right.
Should we check with our attorneys or?
No, that's all right. Tom somehow was involved in some gig somewhere. It was on Wolf Road. That's all I remember. And this is during my SRO days. And he asked if we would play this gig with this other band. All right. And we're like, okay, fine. He goes, you need to do a favor for me. What is it? Well, after you unload your equipment, you got to take your truck and pick up a popcorn machine. On wheels. And
Yeah.
So after we got done unloading all our equipment out of our truck, we ended up going somewhere and picking up this stupid popcorn machine for him.
That's the only reason why you play, right?
Yeah, got to pick up popcorn machines. And
nobody else will pick up his popcorn machine.
Yeah, nobody would. So we ended up, playing, and then the second band came on. They ended up playing, and then nobody wanted to leave, so we all ended up playing together. The whole bunch of us. Right. It was kind of fun.
How was
garage band days? Like,
we're both club season bands, but still, it's kind of fun.
But it's like getting everybody get a bunch of guys get together and just
hey guys, you play this, play that, and it was a lot of fun. That actually started. It was a 2-story place, and everybody was upstairs on the second floor with the bands, and downstairs was the bar and all that. So we got done playing. I went down, and me and my guitar player were sitting at the bar, and all of a sudden, we hear all this trashing going on upstairs. We go up there, and it's our drummer on their kit. It was all Tom's fault.
How was the popcorn?
Yeah, was it?
I do not know.
All right, Mark.
What? I got lost in the popcorn. Yeah, the popcorn took me away.
Popcorn machine.
Well, God, I don't think we got that much time, do we? I've been around a long time, guys. Been doing this since I was 13 years old. So, God, the number of bands that I've been in.
Maybe it's easy to name the bands you haven't been in.
Well,
But this band is your last one, right? This isn't this.
oh yeah, after this I'm done. Put me in the box.
So you sing and play keys too? Is that what I understand?
I sing, play keys, little guitar, some harmonica, some
cowbell.
and cowbell.
yeah, cowbell.
Absolutely cowbell. But so my first band, my first paying gig, I was in 8th grade, and I happened to play my 8th grade graduation dance.
Wow.
So, it just so happened that I was going out with the class president, and she pulled some strings and squeezed my band in.
Nice.
Well, problem being, we only knew 10 songs. Okay.
They do them over and over again.
So we played the same 10 songs for 2.5 hours.
Did it get better?
No. But they paid us $50. So in 1973, that was some good change for,
that wasn't too bad.
For us 8th graders.
You got $50 for that?
Yeah, we got $50.
Where can we sign up?
Yeah. In fact, if
not each, William. I think it was over the whole band.
In fact, somebody posted, I don't know, some time ago on Facebook, our graduation itinerary and stuff.
And so the band that was supposed to play was called Zeus. And they got bumped for us. And they were a pretty big band at the time. That was with Neil Holmquist on drums and some real big characters at the time.
Eighth graders.
No, they weren't eighth graders. But yeah, you know, just because I was dating the class president, she said, I want these guys instead. But yeah, so then after that, got into high school, started a band called Shipton and Company.
When did the cheerleaders come in?
The cheerleaders? Yeah. Can we not mention that?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, we.
Oh, you had cheerleaders too?
Well, the band Shipton and Company. After I graduated high school, so one of the guys that was in the band happened to get a call from somebody who said they needed. God bless you. Who said they needed this baton company, twirling company, baton twirlers. They needed a live band to back them up during their performances.
Okay.
So we're a bunch of crazy kids at the time.
Sure.
You know, me and the drummer were the only ones that were out of high school. All the other guys were still in high school. And so I'm like, oh, yeah, what the hell? You know, let's do this.
If it pays, right?
So, well, they paid us per diem for every show. We got $7 for meals, but all the alcohol we could drink.
Oh, nice.
So they were underage. I wasn't. I was of age, and
Did you share?
I didn't drink. So yeah. So we did that for a summer.
I thought you were going to say so they lost their asses because.
Yeah, no, we did that for a summer, and you know, I'm actually a grand national champion, and I'm listed somewhere in something. We did a show in
the National Baton Twirling.
yes, we did a show at
committee.
Notre Dame University in their basketball stadium, and we opened up for the Starland Vocal Band.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And yes, it was right after they had that hit, and we opened up for them, and there was like 3,000 people in the crowd, and it was a good time.
They could have opened for Afterglow.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah, Afternoon Delight. So so after that fun summer in '77, we went on to start another band called The Heat, and so we were doing nothing but original music at the time. You know, slapping our tapes out to anybody who would take them or listen to them. We happened to win Jonathan Brandmeier's Battle of the Bands.
Oh, okay.
So that.
It wasn't at Bremerton Mall, was it?
No, it wasn't at Bremerton.
Yeah, it wasn't a Bremerton.
No, it was just strictly over the air. You know, we submitted our stuff to him. He had a segment, Battle of the Bands, at the time, and
Tom, you should have checked that out instead of Bremerton.
yeah. So we won that, and you know, that it really helped. I mean, immensely to push the band forward. We got some inquiries to come record some other stuff, and you know, blah 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 blah, but nothing ever came about. You know, it fell to the wayside, and you know, on to another band. You know, a band called All Access, a band called Hustler. I played with The Web.
So, like I said, probably been easier to name the bands you ever played with.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, that experience with the Heat, you know, like I said, because we got the big push from Brandmeier, we were opening up for, you know, headline acts.
Well, at the time, there's nobody bigger than Brandmeier. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
and this was
right.
mid '80s,
right?
You know, so
right, and I know that just him behind something or pushing something is.
Yeah.
You know,
well, you know,
great.
we Buzz Killman, we stole a quote from him, and so all our promo that we used to put in the Entertainer and wherever else we advertised, it used to say, "Come see the Heat." Buzz Killman says, "Chicks dig the Heat."
That's perfect.
Because that's who pushed us over the top with winning the Battle of the Bands was the women calling in. You know?
Right.
So. chicks dig the heat.
That's funny.
Yeah. I've been jamming ever since. I took maybe a year or two off, in between, but I've been going for the past 40 years. So,
well, I know we all took a year off, a year, 18 months or so last year. Right. How did that affect you guys?
Well, all of when that hit, of course, every gig that we had scheduled and throughout the spring, summer, and into the fall and all that evaporated. Yeah, we took it seriously. So for months we didn't even get together because
right. Oh, sure.
We weren't going to
Did you do any simulcast shows or anything?
No, we didn't. We didn't do anything. We just kind of laid low until all of us are vaccinated now and we can everything's opening up, and we even were a little leery about the summer stuff like June and July of this year.
Right.
But by August we started. Okay, that's it. We're done, and we're going to go out and make some noise.
Right.
And then fortunately, regardless, we've done pretty good for the last 3 months. We've been fairly steady, getting steady gigs and stuff like that. Right. So we're doing all right. None of us got sick yet, so that's a good plus. We're not in our 20s anymore, so we have to take this stuff seriously.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
This shit was killing people. Whether you want it or not.
Well, there's two of us in the band that have heart ailments, or three of us. I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot about. Yeah.
Yeah. We were playing Cheers on Cicero, and I had a heart attack on stage.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was not good. And,
how long ago was this?
This was 2 years ago. Something like that. 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Just before COVID hit.
Yeah. And then, so I had to go in through, they cut me open and triple bypass surgery.
Did you guys continue on with the song and finish the set or anything?
We finished the gig.
We finished the gig, and I pushed him off stage. I told
That's right. Just kick him to the side, right?
Pretty much.
Step over him.
I told Mark, I said, dude, I can't carry any equipment, man. I'm done. And because I really didn't know what was going on. And then over the next couple of days, things were getting really bad. And then I went into the hospital and blah, blah, blah. I got admitted and stuff. But so then when we were going through some changes in the band during right at the beginning of the COVID. And then unfortunately I had another health issue that I had to deal with. And so that's another reason why we kind of backed off a little bit. Mm-hmm. But everything's good. We're back in.
You're good now?
I'm good now. We're ready to jam.
Mark, you said that you had an original band back in the days. Anybody else do anything original? Anybody write?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, we did the musical thing.
Right.
But before Tim and I really started hitting the, classic rock band thing and all that, I spent a number of years in the independent music community, writing songs, adding keyboards to other people's material. I'm on, a number of CDs. I kind of backed away from that. It seems like you're making music for other musicians and it still doesn't get out anywhere. Even though these people really, there's some awesome material out there by independent people. There's limited marketing for them. You could talk about YouTube or put it on here, put it there, but still, it isn't like getting, radio promotion.
Right.
And there's some people that I've come across and even played with, not just, doing rock or this or that, but, ambient stuff. I've been on some, actually got to be able to play jazz stuff and all that, do some jazz Hammond and things of that sort. And even Tim and I did a couple, like independent songs together before we started doing the band thing.
It's just the record company. There's no record companies out there.
You do it yourself.
Right.
You buy, if you're going to put out
you
material,
get it on Spotify or something, but
you can put it on there and
you make smittens, nothing.
Fraction of pennies, whatever. And there's still old friends from that era that still think that they're, it's going to happen. And I don't know. So, my whole area where we practice now was originally a home studio. So I could actually do music and all that. And I still maintain my personal website with my, homegrown stuff on it, I guess, and kind of really, backed away from that.
And any plans of playing any original music? That any
You know, it's kind of funny, but Tim and I were talking about that on the way up. You know,
the one thing that we kind of talked about. Personally, I'm terrible at writing music, but I do good arranging and stuff. And I know someone in this room here does some really good, talented music stuff. That's our bass player, and then that's probably going to come out. It's probably going to come out. We've heard some of his stuff.
I thought you were talking about me.
No, well, you too.
I thought he was talking about me. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But Tom's got a lot of talent.
somebody already wrote, "Leave your hat on."
So that I'm sure that's probably going to be in our future.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing about it is there isn't really a playing market for that stuff. You go to someplace say, "Oh yeah, we play original music." Oh no, we want stuff people know,
Right,
and that's the end of it.
right.
You know?
Well, especially not for a bunch of 60-year-olds.
Right.
Okay.
Usually, sometimes
Who are you going to play to?
Right.
You know.
you can take some of those originals and intermix them with
Right. Throw one or two in there.
and then they
right,
say, "Who was that did that?" I knew that. I heard him on the radio.
I've heard that before.
Oh, God, I heard that years ago.
Yeah.
You can't even hand out CDs with your stuff on it anymore because nobody has a CD player. in
Right,
their car.
right.
They want it in MP3s on a thumb drive.
Yeah, on a thumb drive. Yeah.
Thumb drive, right, exactly.
But even then, online they're selling them 99 cents a download. Somebody's making money when the band's making a quarter of a penny.
Right.
You know?
I've been on some private projects the last couple of years with some old friends of mine. Don't you worry about it. And I walking in the studio, and you see all these bands that are up on this, on the engineers' walls, and I'm like, I mean, there's hundreds of, all these independent bands out there, dying to get picked up by somebody, and you listen to the stuff and you're like, okay, I can see why you're still on the wall.
Right.
But
Maybe they should head over to Bremerton Mall.
yeah, there you go. They'd have just as much luck. Yeah. I told myself a long time ago, when I hit 35, I was going to get out of writing original material.
Are you still planning on doing that?
Yes.
When you're 35?
Yes. Yeah. I'm starting to go backwards. Yeah. I mean, if these guys wanted to write some original material, God bless them. I mean, I don't know where it would go or what it would do. So
But you wouldn't sing.
no, you can't.
Now, the nice thing about it is if you do it, I mean, it would be, we're all over 60. We're not going to be rock stars. We'd be doing it for fun. Mm-hmm. And hopefully for the audience would enjoy it too.
Right.
For charity.
For charity, yeah. Our charity.
For the kids.
Empty pockets.
This is why I do this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm becoming a millionaire.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, sure you are. You are?
I wish.
You are?
Oh, wait a minute. Share the wealth, dude.
So I got to ask you, Tim, what kind of guitar you play?
I have a couple of them. I have a American Fender Strat 92. That's one I played this weekend. I haven't played it on stage in a long time, and he was.
I've been busting his balls about pulling it out. I don't know, what
guitar,
he was
you
waiting
mean.
for.
Yeah,
Yeah. And his balls.
This is a family show.
That's the after show.
Yeah. So and then I got two Ibanez's. I got a Ibanez JS1000, which is a Joe Satriani thing. That I don't really put on stage too much. It was too much money. Then I got an S series Ibanez, and then my last guitar is a really old one. It's an old Guild SD.
Really?
Yeah, it's an old Guild. I bought it from Tom at the music store. There's this little story about that. Is I bought it when I was just in senior in high school, and I bought a different guitar, and that one that I have was it was the top of the line model, and I bought this real cheap one, and I paid it off really fast, a lot faster than Tom thought I was going to be able to do. And when I came to go pick up the guitar that I bought, he had sold it. And I'm like, so what do you do? And he gave me the top of the line one, just at the same price and everything like that. And I still have that guitar today. And
Nice.
It's just a.
It's one of those sweet deals that rarely happens.
Yeah. And it's
like going to a garage sale and finding that '59 Les Paul there.
Exactly.
that the woman wants to sell for $50. I don't know. Wow, I want to get rid of this.
Well, the case is a little dirty.
Yeah.
I'll give
I'll
you
give 40. Yeah. I'll give
Yeah, so out of all my guitars, that one's
I'm still hoping for that too.
It's the sweetest one to play. I just love playing that guitar.
That's what you learned on.
Yeah, that's the one I learned on. Yeah.
So, what kind of gigs you got coming up? Anything? Any special gigs coming up? Any place?
The black. We have.
We're playing out. The end of this month on the 23rd, we're playing down in Mantino at the Back 40.
That's the October 23rd.
At the mental health center.
Yeah, really.
It's October 23rd, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right. And a couple, about a month ago, whatever, we played 2 doors down at Copeland's on the same street.
So you know where you're going.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we do.
I'll still get lost.
We are all in our 60s, you say.
They have more parking down there in Mantino than in Joliet.
I've been canvassing, trying to get somebody to want to pay us for November 6th, the first weekend in November, but I'm not having much luck lately. I do a lot of the bookings and stuff. And
He does all the bookings.
no, I do not.
There usually is one guy in every band that takes care of all the bookings.
I'm fully retired and I have nothing better to do, so why not? We won't go into any of that stuff.
Somebody's got to do it.
But I do a lot of, I take care of a lot of the management, management part aspects of things and trying to keep everybody, kind of focused, but which is tough because these guys all think they're comedians, except Mark. And then after, we're going to have to go on hiatus for a little bit. Michael P., our drummer, is going in for some kind of surgery, spinal surgery or something on his neck.
Spinal tap.
Yeah, spinal tap. So I'll be back out then, maybe mid-January or February, starting, trying to book us up through to the spring.
Perfect time to write some original stuff.
Already did. There you go.
Our first song is going to be named Bremerton Mall.
There you go. I like it.
I lost at Bremerton Mall.
I think it's a hit right there.
At least on the south side.
I'm going to be local.
So how do we go about finding you guys on the internet or on Facebook or?
We have a website called wavelengthchicago.com. We try to keep it updated as much as we can. It has fallen behind in the past, and we have a calendar up there that shows where we're playing in the future and stuff. And then we also have a Facebook page, which he pretty much manages.
Instagram too.
Yep. On Facebook, Facebook and Instagram under Wavelength Chicago. I try to, I do the Facebook page. So when everybody sends me pictures and photos and videos and God knows what else, I try to plaster it all over the place because, and of course.
You gotta keep the name out there.
Oh yeah. Well, then you got to pay for the event stuff. So I pretty much pay for that. Anytime we try advertise through Facebook on the their advertising event mechanism and all that. Right. People think it's free. No, you pay for that stuff. Yeah. It costs money.
Well, we thank you guys for coming in today and
thanks a lot.
And talking about. Well, we talk some more.
Well, one thing I'd like to say, before we close, is all through the lockdown, all you heard is, we're locked down. We can't wait for live music to come back. We can't wait for live music to come back. All right. Well, live music is back. So anybody who's within earshot of this, go out and enjoy it. Don't just sit there and go, well, I can't do that. No, because eventually, if nobody shows up at the gigs, we're not going to get paid, and that'll be the end of that. And you can go put on your MP3s, and that'll be the end of it. I've seen too many clubs already shutting down or not. They're gone. One of our favorite clubs was Cheers. We played there at least 3, if not 4 times a year. Right. They're gone. Right. No more big stage there, and that's it. Slapshots, right. They used to host bands. Now all they do is DJ shit. Other places have gone down. They're trying to come up and then they disappear. So people support your local musicians.
Yeah, live music's where it's at.
Yeah. Otherwise, it will be gone.
Yes. Yes.
And if you can't get live music, listen to our podcast.
Absolutely. In the meantime.
go out and see Wavelength.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, come out and see Wavelength. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They're a different kind of frequency.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, wait.
It's our new, what was our original logo? It was Gramps with amps.
Oh, yeah. And our poster moniker stuff is classic rock with a difference.
Yeah.
Because we're all different.
We are
believe me.
different.
Well, we thank you guys for coming out and
thank you.
Thank you very much
joining
for
us
having us.
today, and wish you the best of luck with in the future with the band, and get some people out there and go out there and see Wavelength.
Well, I'll be keeping an eye out for the noodles. I'll come out.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
So there you have it, people. That was Will and Tim and Mark and Tom, and we're missing Mike, like we said, but that is Wavelength.
Yes, it is. It got my heart going, got my wavelengths moving.
It did.
It did.
Yeah, they're fun guys. We had a fun time talking with us.
Yes, we did. And I really wish Brementown Mall was still around. I'd go there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. What's there now? What was it? Oh, Menards.
It's a home improvement, a home improvement store that does not pay for sponsorship on the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast, but it's a home improvement center.
I see. A big box store.
A big box store, yes, but I don't think they're having Battle of the Bands there anymore. But that would be cool.
Now, what was the mall? I was thinking of the one on Halstead, where the other big box store is, with the initials HD. In Homewood, there was a mall there too.
That was Washington Square Mall.
Washington Square.
That was that was on the east side of Halstead. There,
that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. There was. Then there was also the Dixie Square Mall.
Right. Well,
that didn't last very long, and then now Lincoln Mall. They're all gone.
Yeah. Well, it's because everybody orders everything online now.
That's true,
including you.
I do. I spend way too much time on these different places to buy stuff, whether it's clothes, music, heck, shampoo. I've bought toilet paper and paper towels.
You told me you were up until 2 a.m. the other night.
I was
just shopping online.
Well, I'm getting ready for Christmas.
Oh, I see.
I'm.
What'd you get me?
I can't tell you. I can't tell you. Well, so, I got Prime, so it'll be here in 2 days.
Okay, good. All right, well, that was Wavelength. So go out and check them out, would you, people, please? And they're playing around. They're playing in Moments, right?
Mantino. They'll be there on the 23rd.
I get Mantino, Moments, Manuka,
Midlothian, Mount Prospect.
I get all those mixed up.
Yeah, anything that begins with an M.
Yeah, right.
Well,
thanks for listening, everybody. Go out and check Wavelength as soon as you can, or check them out online. You can check them out right here on the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Coming to you live, not really live, from the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66.
Route 66.
Route.
Okay.
All right, on Route 66. It's at 9 West. Is it Cass or Cass?
No, it's Cass.
It's Cass Avenue in beautiful downtown Joliet. Opening soon. Get on their website, roadtorock.org, and sign up for a charter membership. Okay. You too can be a charter member like me and Paul.
That's right. So thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast does not own the rights to any of the music that's played on this podcast.
The music is used to promote the band or musicians that are interviewed.
Rock and roll, Chicago. Rock and roll.